And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We had our AEW Dynamite 250 live from Little Rock, Arkansas. You saw the aerial assassin Will Ospreay lose against MJF in a bout that took about almost an hour. It was about 59 minutes and 58 seconds. Kind of crazy. Obviously that's professional wrestling. The fans were into it. So super awesome. Make sure you catch the show. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, talking all things professional wrestling, 1,010%, all the action inside and outside of the ring, all the behind curtain stuff, all the news about the superstars, all the athletes, all the projected storylines that are kind of left in the air within the creative, WWE, AEW, and stuff like that. So this show, if you're a huge wrestling head like I am, it's a perfect place to go. Obviously, spend some time with me, grab your favorite drink, grab your favorite snack, and talk about professional wrestling with me. But before we move on any further, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, questions, and concerns. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, your projected storylines, who you think should be champion, who you overall, want to see, on top of the AEW world. Maybe, you have some thoughts about what happened at Money in the Bank. 1,010%. Send chats about absolutely anything. Doesn't really have to be that relative to the show, although it would help. You know what I mean? Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. So remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Also, leave a positive review. The link is at the GSMCpodcast.net. So let's go ahead and jump on into our second segment. We have our Thursday night wrestling preview. So Death Before Dishonor 2024 is just 8 days away. And, we're pretty excited. Honestly, I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to see what happens. But before that, we have our, we have our Honor Club. We have a Ring of Honor Honor Club 73. So we're going to start off with the lights out match between the legit Leyla Hirsch against Diamante. Leyla Hirsch is strong. I feel like ultimately she's not really, you can't really blindside her. Diamante has been within the company for so damn long. You kind of have that, that hot up and coming star with Hirsch taking on Diamante. Obviously, she's been part of she was in the Women's World Television Championship, tournament that was ultimately won by Billie Starkz. But she had a pretty good bout. She had a pretty good match and stuff like that. And it said lights out. It means no rules. Absolutely no rules. Doesn't count toward anybody's record. Has no bearing or championship contention. The first, this is a first for Ring of Honor having a lights out stipulation that reflects the other lack of rules and any other matches that calls, such more like kind of like a last man standing match. The competitor who couldn't answer a 10 count looks to win. So, definitely match is pretty awesome. It's, it's unsanctioned. So this is absolutely, these girls probably hate the hell out of each other, kind of crazy, but, should be interested to find out who comes out on top. My bet would probably be on Diamante. So we have a trios match. Like I mentioned before, the Bang Bang Gang had to relinquish their 6-man Ring of Honor championship and also their AEW trios championship. So now you can expect the trios contention on Ring of Honor and New Japan Professional Wrestling. CMLL, also, AEW to start heating up. A lot of people want to become champions. The Bang Bang Gang has had those titles, in the winks, has held them over everybody's head for the longest time. So it's kind of cool to see. I like it whenever a title kind of gets vacated. I got to be honest, it just makes for an unpredictable champion. Just makes for a lot of fun finding out who gets to fight the final two for the championship. So that's one of the reasons why I like it. So tonight we have a trios match on Ring of Honor Club. We have Dalton Castle and the Outrunners, Truth Magnum, and also Turbo Floyd taking on Lance Archer and the Righteous, Dutch and Vincent. I like Lance Archer. I really like the Righteous. I feel like they're kind of heading toward more of a success more than like a downgrade. It would be more fitting for Lance Archer to kind of continue his momentum he has. And of course you have the the Righteous as well, who shouldn't be thrown aside, but should be interesting to kind of find out. Next, we have the MIT is going to speak. Obviously, the Ring of Honor World Women's Champion Athena, who has gone unbeaten She's still on a really high record, stuff like that. And, I don't think it's been such a long time. It's been so long since she's been beaten, dude. She's amazing. Like, she had that tease where she was going to give up the Ring of Honor World Women's Championship because, saying that she wasn't medically clear. But then you also have Billie Starkz. Billie Starkz in 8 days. She will, contest her championship as well as Athena. So, a lot of crazy ass stuff, a lot of cool stuff heading toward the 8 days before Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor, and just also featuring matches. We're going to see a Women's World Championship #1 contenders match. Queen Aminata in action. She's going to be fighting. She is the #1 contender. And we have the #1 contender for the Women's World TV title as well, Redvelvet in action as well. Both of those, obviously they're stable. We have Cage of Agony, Brian Cage, Bishop Khan, and Tayo Leona in trios competition. Just so much more. So make sure you make sure you watch that stuff. Like, what I mean? We also have Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor. We have a lot of matches that are actually, kind of already lined up. One of them that's kind of my favorite is you have Roderick Strong, the former AEW International Champion. Obviously, throughout the years of Ring of Honor, you've seen Roderick Strong be successful. You've seen him be successful. So he's going to go against Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe has had so far a really, really good run from the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship standpoint, in my opinion. He's beaten a lot, he's beaten people that I thought, Kyle Fletcher was it. Kyle Fletcher has not lost a match. Well, before then, he didn't lose a match, before 2022, I believe it was May. And he had all the momentum in the world, couldn't take down the crazy, the always unpredictable, unhinged Mark Briscoe. So, I'm a huge Mark Briscoe fan. I love the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship. I love that they put your strap on him. But, I hope he doesn't lose it against Roderick Strong. I would be so upset, to be honest. I'd be like, really? I would have rather had Kyle Fletcher win the championship if you're going to have Mark Briscoe lose his championship against Roderick Strong. So, All right, now moving on to TNA. This is the last stop. From the road to Slammiversary. We have Matt and Jeff Hardy coming together for the first time in 7 years. Matt Hardy pinned Eddie Edwards during the tag team showdown where Matt teamed up with his wife to take on Alicia and Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, they're looking to take down a historic tag team who wants to, reclaim their spot of the tag team mountain, obviously the Hardy Boys, for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. But whoever wins the championship belts tonight has to face ABC lurking in the shadows. They are former tag team champions as well for TNA. So we also have a Slammiversary main event contract signing, between the, six-way match. You have Moose, you have Nick Nemeth, you have Joe Hendry, Steve Macklin, Frankie Kazarian, and Josh Alexander. Could be all shaping up. All shaping up for absolute bedlam. I feel like something's going to happen. Something's going to go crazy, insane in the membrane. Could be, obviously, Moose has had the championship for so damn long from the leader of the system. It's elimination. It's an elimination match. So definitely I feel like he's going to be, pretty dominant in this match, but, should be interesting to kind of find out what happens more. Next, we have the no quarter catch crew to take on Kushida and the Rascalz. I was a little flabbergasted. I was a little shocked to find out that Wesley wasn't going to make his way over to TNA Impact for this Thursday's episode. I've heard, speculations that Kushida was probably going to get attacked by the no quarter catch crew, forcing the Rascalz into a handicap 3-on-2 match, and then out of nowhere, making his TNA return, you have Wesley. I think, I thought that was the best way to kind of go about it. But, should be interesting to find out what happens furthermore. Next, we have JDC taking on Max Santana. JDC and Santana, hate each other's guts. JDC screwed Santana out of a spot for the main event against Moose's TNA World Heavyweight Championship. JDC wants to prove his worth, say that he can pull the weight, say that he could, join the system. Obviously, you have Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, also Alicia Edwards, also Moose. JDC wants to be a part of the system, so it should be interesting to kind of find out what happens tonight, especially heading towards Slammiversary. To kind of cap it all off today, we have Alicia Edwards taking on Xia Brookside. Xia Brookside is out for revenge. She lost the spot Thanks to Eddie Edwards, Alicia Edwards, trying to challenge for the championship there. Edwards is trying to build momentum for her TNA Knockouts tag team title defense at Slammiversary against Spitfire. So a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of interesting, turnabouts, a lot of possible storylines that can come into Slammiversary tonight on TNA Impact on Access TV. So make sure you catch that. All right, guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about The Rock's final boss character. Wasn't really a total heel. So, like I said, always come back, hear more wrestling stuff, grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite, your beverage. And yeah, we're going to talk about more professional wrestling heels. Ooh, gotta love yourself some heels. We have The Rock, the final boss, coming up your way next.